Welcome back. 15 million people in the U.S. deal with an alcohol use disorder. And as we recognize Alcohol Awareness Month in April, it's important to take a step back and really think about your relationship with drinking. We're joined by Dr. Diana Bitner to learn more about why we should be maybe thinking about our drinking habits, especially for people coming off a spring break. We're heading into warmer summer months when you might want to sip on the patio. So why should we keep this in mind?
Well, there's so many reasons. I mean, it affects our health. It affects our well-being, and I would really ask people to ask themselves, what do they want, right? Do they want more time with family? Do they want a healthier future? Do they want more energy at night? Do they want better sleep? Do they want more money in their pocket? Most households spend about $600 a year on alcohol. Wow. So, you know, it adds up. So there's a lot to think about.
It's a serious issue. We talked about the Surgeon General earlier this year talking about the link between alcohol use and cancer. Really highlighting just having a few extra drinks a week could really increase your risk.
Exactly. I mean, to be clear, the lowest risk is zero, right? So zero alcohol is the lowest risk. Even at 3 drinks a week, it can increase your risk of breast cancer. So I kind of think about a magic number of 7. You know, we think that a threshold for people is 7 drinks a week for women and 14 drinks a week for men. I mean, that sounds like a lot, right? But so many people, it just becomes too easy to add that extra drink, that extra, and just think about what's the best. It's that first sip. Is it really that good after that?
That's a good way to look at it. We talked about the benefits. You know, better sleep is a big one that I would really appreciate. But I mean, along with saving money, what are we putting ourselves at risk for, other than maybe increasing our cancer risk if we are heavy drinking?
Well, you bring up sleep. So a lot of times people will have a drink or 2, and then they can fall asleep easier. But what happens is they don't sleep as well. They don't get as much deep sleep. Their REM sleep is less. And so it really can impact their energy the next day. And it just adds up. So sleep is a big deal, obviously. And alcohol can interfere with that.
Yeah. And if you're trying to lose weight, those extra calories can also add up.
And it's not only the calories of the alcohol. You know, it's so much easier to overeat when the inhibition is gone from that extra drink, right? You have a margarita, how many more chips are you going to eat?
Endless amount.
There you go.
Chips and salsa. So let's talk about Jane quickly here.
So Jane was 45, and she was coming back from spring break and thinking, wow, you know, that was a big part of spring break. I need to take stock. And also she was just getting in the habit of, you know, earlier in the day thinking, when can I have that glass of wine? Her life was getting more stressful, kids, work, she was a teacher, her parents were needing more, so just earlier and earlier in the day it would pop up in her mind. And then at night she'd have a glass of wine, maybe her husband would join her, but then he'd go up to bed and she'd stay up to work more and have a second glass. Sometimes maybe a third. So one Sunday she was taking out the trash and the recycles and thought, there is no way we drank that much wine this week. And then she kind of scanned back to her dad. Her dad had an alcohol use problem. It created a lot of stress in the family, and she thought, am I doing that to my family? And really took stock of her alcohol, committed to pulling back, and found she had more energy. You know, she slept better. She's like, okay, I really needed to take stock of this.
Yeah, good time to start thinking about that as we head into summer once again. What is your takeaway tip for us?
Take stock of your alcohol use, especially if you're coming off a spring break week and it was on the menu every day. Now is a good time to take a break and just think that first sip is probably the best. We don't need volume after that. So take stock.
Okay, Dr. Bitner, thank you so much. Always appreciate you.